Tornado?
Tornado?
Yeah, I just heard a lot of feedback.
I hope not. If we have a
It's all
tornado,
clear
there's gonna be a
now.
problem.
Yeah, not
Alright.
1990s Twister, man.
Alright, we are
Alright.
live. First off, well, I guess, I'm Grush, but you know that. With me again is Rekla. But first off, I want to point out to those of you on the stream, we have a kick-ass new overlay thanks to Ashtay, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Um, but we have an awesome match coming up. I'm glad to see Card Sharks are doing the lineup I thought they would. We've got Stars running their default lineup. Bodrum, Kimpaz, Azula, Kiid, no surprises there.
Hmm.
And then Card Sharks, we have Hartney, Grendel, Slann, and Merilith. And the important thing about Hartney is there are 3 casters on Stars. So AoE stun will help protect Grendel in theory.
Oh yeah, and one thing that I've noticed about Stars is that just by nature you have 3 caster tops, so Kiid has a lot of pressure alone to stun Hartney. Like when it's one person of 4 who can stun effectively and stop those casts, it's not so threatening to Hartney as it would be to a team like Brutes who have multiple stunners who can all screw him
Exactly.
up pretty well.
Like he's good against their team, and they're bad against, like they're not good against him. So it's a cool dynamic that works here, especially with Slann or to Slann flashing as well to help protect
Hmm. And
him.
maybe even getting some chokes off.
It's I love the synergy that Card Sharks have developed, where like Grendel, like their whole team kind of revolves in some respect around kind of a second tier pick. Like normally you would have a troll bard would be like a flex character, but their team dynamic is kind of developed around him, making him kind of the star, and I love that.
I think that's true too. I do think KCS is limited in a way the same as Quicksilver was last season, which is that they have to be this aggressive bulwark to get things done. They have to kind of juggernaut it up because the longer a match goes on, the more evident their flaws become. Like one issue that KCS has is that for some reason they don't feel like they have that much healing output. Like we fought them last match with Hydra. Hydra has a lot more healing than Stars does, but it seemed like Merilith ran out of mana pretty quick.
Yeah, that is true. They're limited on the healing with just Merilith, but the damage output is very high, and it's consistent damage output. It's not, it's not the AoE spell damage where you
Hmm.
throw it out there, and then if it gets healed up, you just run out of steam.
I think this is an interesting setup because I think the way for KCS to win this, like their strategy should be to do sort of what Stars usually do, which is ironic because I think they're going to get the upper hand in the first quarter of the match here. I think that Hartney's damage is going to come out. Grendel and Slann are going to do a lot unless they get cast all over, and in that little window, they're going to want to rush caps. So that's what Stars usually does. They make a breakthrough and then they get Kimpaz to cap immediately, and their whole gameplay is based off that first cap landing. And if it lands, then Stars generally die. They come back and they get the final 2 caps. And I think that's actually what KCS wants to do here because I think that their damage output is going to be a little more than Stars in this instance.
Yeah, but that is a concern with Grendel and Slann on the team.
Oh yeah,
There
it
is
is.
the spell bait curse could happen.
Yeah, and that's why we've said in the past cast that Stars is kind of a hard lineup for KCS because Conclave casts just land. Like they just seem to land, especially on higher or lower int races. So we'll see how it goes, but KCS is still gonna want to go out and be really aggressive. If they can get some chokes and some control going before the cast land, then it's kind of like you're always saying, high risk, high reward. Like it's always a coin toss as to who's going to get the control at the beginning of the match. It's either going to be the mages getting control with cast, or it's going to be Slann getting control with the chokes.
It'll be interesting to see. Like they do have the lots of blinds, lots of choke potential with Slann, so they can definitely get control if they can avoid the mass blinds. It'll basically come down to Slann. if they start getting the blinds off on Slann, and then Merilith has to babysit both Slann and Grendel, it can get ugly. But if
Hmm.
Slann can, put somebody down and try and keep control that way, it'll make things a
Yeah,
lot easier for Merilith.
that's true. And one thing they kind of have to decide who to pick to hit here because if they do focus on Slan and Grendel, then that kind of leaves Hartney open to free cast, and that's going to hurt Stars a bit.
One thing to note though is when you're talking about maledicting and spamming blinds and all this business on the spellbait guys, on the one hand you do limit that character's effectiveness, but if you have to like devote constant attention to it, it kind of eats up your focus and you can't really do other things, especially as mages.
Yep, that's
And
true.
with Slann and Grendel coming at you, like that can be a lot of damage if you're having to constantly reblind, constantly, re-weaken or whatever.
To be honest, I think that if Stars go for cast on Grendel, Grendel is very resilient. He's good at getting out of if he's in trouble, he's good at getting out of it. Like he'll always call aside. Merilith will get in pretty much immediately. So if they do focus blinds on him, then those are runes that Hartney's casting into Stars meanwhile. So, even if they sort of meat shield Grendel a bit and let him take the brunt of the cast, then you still have Hartney casting on you. That's why I think this is a strong niche lineup. It's going to do a lot of damage to Stars either way. But Stars is going to be favored this match just by nature of the casting. I know Bodrum doesn't like casting, but it's kind of worthwhile in this scenario. If you land a Bone Blight and all that other stuff on a Barb, then it's going to cripple him a bit at least. And the match has started up.
And for once, I'm actually in the stands when the match starts, so that's a nice change of pace.
Oh, and they're starting really early.
Yeah, no, they probably don't want to give Bodrum too much time to try for a Draco.
Yep. What alignment is Hartney? Because it looks
I
like
believe he's neutral.
Okay, so they pro'd against him, and it looks like they did not.
Bodrum has taken
Grendel.
a lot of damage off the bat.
See,
And
look at
so
all the
is
damage
Azula.
Grendel
Like,
is doing.
Azula is dropping fast. Whoa!
Well, they cast protection against Hartney. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god! This is a very early lead for Stars. That is whoa.
That was an intense kill.
The Holy Smite from Merilith does miss, so Stars have that going for them. But this is an ugly position now. The 3v4. And Bodrum taking a crazy amount of damage as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of damage from these damage. Maybe their goal was to cast on the hitters, and they protected against Hartney, but they didn't protect against the hitters who are doing all this damage. Like Azula might have gotten stun locked there and just died.
Yeah, this is looking like it could be a 3-0 for Sharks. I mean, this is just ugly.
I hope
don't
not.
know how,
but,
how do you recover from this as Stars? Like in this, like right now for this first game.
Well, I mean, Bodrum is hurt, which isn't good, but he's pretty good at going to the opposite flag room and interrupting
he gets choked out.
That's true. That's true. Merilith needs to go. Oh, there's the cure.
And there's the cure.
They're working well here.
And that's always been my my way to deal with Bodrum is you can't kill him most of the time. Sometimes you can kill him. Sometimes, but most of the time you just kind of gotta like dirt kick him or choke him or whatever, just make him go away.
And they're looking to bring this home. Merilith is taking a very early cap. While Stars is hurt pretty much collectively, they want to rush this.
Yeah, Stars are hurt. They're down a man. They're pushing this early advantage that they've gotten. And Kimpaz is in red as well. Like.
Oh, you know what? I may have. Azula has Holy Smite now, so maybe she landed Smite on Hartney, and those were the runes. This is just a retrograde thought, but that might have been why the damage was so low rather than pro.
Well, I don't think the hammer. He was spamming the hammer, not Rune of Destruction.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was the goal ahead of time. Is he needs to be spamming the hammer to get the stuns off to protect Slann and Grendel from the the casting.
Kimpaz is in a lot of trouble here. In fact, he's probably just going to go down unless he gets out of there. He's not carrying a flag, so.
Yeah.
And there he goes. That rune finishes him off.
And I mean, Slann is probably gonna try and get some chokes off here. He can put Bodrum back down, choke Kiid. Honestly, I would probably just go ahead and kill Bodrum. Like, he's at full mana and everything, so there's no harm in killing him at this point. Choke Kiid, kill Bodrum.
Oh, that's true, yeah. He does have a full mana pool, probably. Or he's got plenty to spare, at least.
Yeah, like, I mean, typically you don't want to try kill him because then he comes back with full mana. But if he's already got full mana, then, like, no harm, no foul. Just gets him out of your hair for, 5 ticks or whatever.
Curious to know how close Merilith is to getting the cap off here.
Merilith is at the 40 blue right now, as far as I can tell, according to the map. And Bodrum, is he trying to get?
Looks like Slann might be looking for Kiid or Bodrum. Slann's in there.
Line. Is Kiid trying to suicide here, or just trying to?
I don't think Kiid is trying to suicide. I think they're trying to kill him though, because enough ticks have passed.
Yeah, but I would still I would choke him. Yeah, they're trying to kill Hartney, I guess.
Well, that would be a start for stars.
But yeah, I don't know. And Grendel is power swinging for some reason. Merilith has the flag again, running for that second capture. But I'm not sure about Grendel's decision to power swing here, unless they're trying not to kill Bodrum. I mean, he doesn't have anything to fear from Kiid, obviously, not in this position.
Well, maybe they are trying to keep Bodrum alive because they know they're going to die soon. KCS doesn't have that much of a healing pool. They know the other team's going to come out and kill them pretty quick, and they can come back and get the final 2 caps theoretically. So rather than kill Bodrum while he comes back refreshed the same time they do, then they just leave them kind of hurt.
Do get a strangle into Kiid. I don't think they're worried about dying, to be honest. Kiid is going to die whenever they decide to kill him. I think as long as they don't wait for... As long as they kill him pretty soon, they can get Bodrum off the field. Merilith is halfway across with that second flag.
Yeah, you can go 2 ways here. I mean, this is good for KCS either way, because even if you kill Bodrum, then you can kind of have Slann run control on the rest. But Hartney does go down here, so why not? Kiid got his mission complete.
Yep. Get an achievement for that one, buddy. Alright. But, I don't think it's necessarily a horrible thing for Hartney to die at this point for Sharks either. He's going to come back in nice and rested. Bodrum drops, but he is withstanding.
Yep. He hasn't fled from that power swing. Oh, there he goes.
Nope, he fled.
He'll get the cast off.
Get it.
Yep.
So he's not going to die just yet. But if I'm Sharks, I do want to go ahead and kill him at this point before Kimpaz gets out. Merilith gets the second capture. And if Kimpaz comes back out and Bodrum is still alive, things could start to get hairy.
So this is just an open thought that I'm having, but
Azula choked in
what is the legality of intentionally losing to a team so that another team gets 3rd seed? I'm just curious, because in theory, if KCS wins this, Hydra's pretty much out of the playoffs. I'm not going to make that accusation. I don't think that's what's happening, but I'm just curious to know if it is illegal to strategize that way.
If it was shown that it was happening, fairly confident the owners would remove that whoever was responsible as an owner. But I don't think that's happening here. I think.
Well, I don't either. And the reason that I'll say why Kiid does go down here. The reason I'll say why is because Azula experienced a similar issue in a Vandevar champion of Bloodlust fight recently. She just got stun locked and died. I don't think she has that much health. I think that
she's mana trained a fair bit.
Yeah, potentially, and I think they lost the edge very quickly, and KCS has executed nearly perfectly. But I had been looking at the schedules and was just curious to know if a team did that, would it be legal?
Um, no, I would. I mean, there's very explicit rules in AGL against not trying your hardest. Um, it's a little fuzzier in ACFL because you have like room to experiment. Like it, in Brood's case, we have the number 2 position locked up. Like we might go up a slot, but we cannot go down. Like we're not going out of the playoffs. So like we have more room to experiment with combinations that we haven't fielded so much yet. Um,
Yep.
so that's like you wouldn't get in trouble for doing something like that. But if you were like actually throwing the match, like absolutely you would get stomped on by Tony. I have no doubt.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, I don't think that's what's happening here, and I do think if KCS pulls this off so
We do
effortlessly,
get a blind on
with
the
a
Slann though, and Bodrum
yeah, I
weeping
saw that.
again.
If KCS does pull this off so effortlessly, then Stars, they might have something to worry about.
Absolutely. I mean, this has been very ugly for them. The AoE stuns coming out of Hartney just kind of throws a wrench into an all-caster lineup like that. Especially when,
You
like you
know,
said, they get onto Azula and just like drops like a freaking rock.
well, just imagine Grendel slamming into you, and then you have Hartney doing all that damage to you while he's stun locking you in a room. Like it's just terrible for Azula, who I don't think she has that much health.
Plus,
So
with blind onto Grendel, but with the way Sharks bum rushed across the field, where Stars, I'll have to go back and look, but Stars may have still been in their flag room. In which case, that just adds to Azula being unable to flee, just being totally stun locked in a 1 exit room. And that could have been a pretty big contributing factor.
mhm. Hartney. Oh, okay. He's just trying to kill Kimpaz off.
Yeah. Grendel gets blinded again. Poor Grendel. But he's swinging away at whoever he can get his hands on.
Yeah, I mean they're doing a lot
And
of damage
Bodrum
regardless. They're going through.
withstands,
Yeah,
but
that's
there's no
been
follow-up
consistent.
damage.
Nah, he's pretty safe at this point, unless they can stun lock him in that flag room.
And so this is why I don't like the power swinging right now. Power swinging is great when you've got people that are actually like hitting you with melee, but he doesn't. Whoa, big damage onto Azula and onto Slann.
That conclave
Um,
damage coming through.
Azula does not appear to be protected against Hartney, so that could be some big spell damage popping out if he keeps hitting Azula. But they're just trying to get Bodrum dead, and it's
I mean,
not
Hartney
working.
is using all this burst damage, but he's got no stuns to back it up yet. He does get Kimpaz off
So
though.
Kimpaz drops. Azula's gonna
Oh
drop
my
off of
gosh,
this,
this is
especially if
terrible
if Hartney
damage for.
starts Rune of Destructioning Azula, and yet another withstand off of Bodrum. I would, if
I
I
mean,
was Hartney,
honest
I would just be
for
going
sure,
after
Cap,
Azula.
right? No,
Yep.
I'm thinking Hartney caps. Look at his wide health. I mean,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? Like, it's worth the
Mhm.
run at least. I
Yeah.
mean, I know RuneSmith not that great, but Stars is mostly a caster team. They can't stun you.
They can't stun him, and they can't compete with that spell damage when they're this hurt. No.
Ah, but Kiid is out and is
Kiid
full
is
health now.
out, and Kiid would definitely kill him.
Oh, yeah.
But if Slann's still alive? I don't see him. He must
He
be.
is.
Yeah, he is. Okay. But there we go. Another big. See, Azula is not protected, but Slann is not protected evil. It looks like, so he's taking big damage back, and they both drop. Uh,
Now this has some
at
interesting
this point,
implications.
if I'm Sharks, I cap with Grendel.
Well, isn't Grendel pretty low though? I mean, I know
It
you've
doesn't
always
matter.
said
Azula can't deal with Hartney. If Azula comes after Grendel, Hartney just kills him with Rune of Destruction. Azula's dead now. So now the only person on the field is Kiid, and Kiid cannot get past troll defenses with a shield. Like there's
Yeah,
no
they
way.
absolutely need to get something moving here.
So here we go. Let's see what they decide to do. Merilith picks up the flag. I mean, it's okay. Like it's not like Kiid can just sit there on Merilith. You know.
I think they're thinking it's a win-win because if Merilith dies, he gets that mana back.
Yeah,
You
but I don't
know, so
like
I mean,
if Grendel caps, like all of Stars just died like very quickly. There's no way for Kiid to stop Grendel from taking the flag over. None.
that's true. I mean, it's going to be hard for Kid to do anything anyway because
Yeah,
the
that's
troll is
yeah,
just going
yeah.
to stay with Merilith.
Absolutely. Um, so I do think that, like I said, I think this is a 3-0 for Sharks.
This has been a really incredible game by KCS. I'm afraid for Stars,
They're
and
looking.
I'm glad I don't have to fight KCS again.
Yeah, I mean this does shake things up for the potential. The potential to shake things up at least. You know, if Hydra can manage to beat Stars again, then Stars could potentially drop out of the first place.
That's true.
I
I think it'll be a
think.
good. I mean, I think we at the first of the season, both Hydra and KCS were pretty rusty as far as the application of their compositions, and I think now, at the very least, the playoff matches are going to be really good regardless. I think these two teams have come into their own.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of the. I feel like all of the teams. There we go. That's the capture. I think all the teams that are in contention for the playoffs are, you know, for the postseason, can potentially win after seeing what Sharks just did,
Hmm.
because that was a pretty solid stomp, and you know maybe things look a little bit different if Azula doesn't die quite so quickly, but you know that's kind of the danger of being mana trained.
It's funny. I'm not going to go into detail about this, but Grendel had said something to me about having a plan against Stars that wasn't going to surface until toward the latter part of the season. Right now, they're sort of on the line as far as playoffs. So I think we might have seen that in execution tonight,
Yeah,
and they did a good job pulling it off.
I mean, I don't think it was a like they may have thought it was a secret. I guess I don't know. Like Hartney being their ace in the hole, as it were, against Stars. I think it's
I don't
kind
even think it was Hartney. I mean, Hartney was probably part of it as damage output, but I actually think that
I don't think
the
his
plan
damage
was
output. I just
targeting.
think it's the AOE stun against, you know, 3
Right,
casters.
but the only thing they did different this match really was target Azula from the get go.
Hmm.
I don't think they went for Kiid. They went for Azula because they knew that was a monopool and they knew that her health was low. And I think they capitalized on it. Obviously, it worked.
Yeah, it
But
was
I'm
a
going to get off here because I got a match going.
yep. I think I might have one as well. But
Oh,
thank you for
okay.
being
Okay.
on
Well,
with me.
good luck. I hope you lose. All right, good
Worst of
games.
luck to you as well.